Let's start with the obvious question around Ken Ofori-Atta and Charles Edubahim. You managed somehow, after the unprecedented step your members took at a press conference, to get them to sit with the president. They had the president, and then they agreed. The president wished for them to delay their, anger a bit until after the IMF negotiations are done. But however, subsequent to that, the Speaker of Parliament has admitted a vote of censure on the floor. His reason is that even the move to table that vote of censure alone had a positive impact on the economy. He claims that just that announcement led to the cedi gaining some ground on the dollar. And so that motion has been admitted. You can see that that was a smart move by the Speaker, and I wonder if you support that.
Thank you once again. Yes, as you said, colleagues from my own ranks, came together and decided that they would vent their anger in public. I got to know on a Saturday when I had gone to the Eastern region to be part of the resource persons that the party had chosen to come and provide some orientation to the elected executives. So it was whilst there that a couple of the people, the members of parliament who had banded themselves together to raise these matters, called me to say that it was more or less confiding in me that this is what was going to happen, and invited me to come there. Perchance I'll be able to provide a sobering effect on them. So I came, saw them, realized that really they were poised for action. I spoke with them and entreated them to hold their horses until after these IMF negotiations are over, because I thought if anything happened at the time, it was going to derail the efforts of government and indeed the country in negotiating with the IMF to bring some resolution to the crisis that we are facing as a nation. And subsequent to that, I said to them that the conclusions of the IMF negotiations certainly will feed into the budget that is supposed to be presented to Parliament on behalf of the President around the 15th of November. And thereafter, once the budget is presented, of course, the conclusion of the budget is the passage of the appropriations bill. So I was appealing to them that these things should be allowed to go through, and thereafter we'll see what to do. I realized that most of them were not prepared to cave in to my requests. So I had to report to the President what I had seen, which I did on Monday, when we thought that things were about calming down a bit. On Tuesday, we saw what we saw. Unfortunate as it was, I thought that the mood was not the best. But then it was a decision that had the support of so many of them. So thereafter, I had a meeting of the entire caucus. Incidentally, the caucus, the generality of the caucus, I would say 95% of them aligned with the position of the smaller group in the caucus. And so it meant that we needed to take some major action. That was Tuesday. And we ferried the sentiments to the President. The President caused the meeting of the entire caucus. Once again, we met, and he made just a similar appeal as I had made. Sometimes when these matters come from elders in the party, they carry more weight. And so I think eventually they said that they will recline to consider what the President had told them. So when we reclined, we had a caucus meeting here. We debated the issues, and I stranded them out. One, First, the conclusion of the negotiation with the IMF. After a while, we had some agreement on that. Some were saying that, well, after the event, he should leave and hand over to another person to present the budget. But eventually, that one was also acceded to. And then it was, okay, if he presented the budget, he should leave. And I appeal to them that you don't have the situation when the person who presents the budget on behalf of the president and whose name is stamped on the budget, then we'll have to exit for another person to present the appropriations bill. So eventually, after a marathon meeting with my colleagues, a 6-hour meeting, all these 3 proposals that I had put before them were agreed to.